following program makes use of copywritten material as part of a psychological examination of music. All music copyrights remain property of their respected creators.
Hey kids, welcome to today's show. In today's episode, your boy Niko is riding Han Solo in this episode. Johnny was not present, and if I could get into something real quick that I bet you weren't expecting, this episode was probably the most mentally exhausting, stressful, and it's not because I went in all alone. It wasn't because of that. It was leading up to the show. It was like, okay, I'm spitting out ideas, and then I'm not getting much from you or Chris, which is our guest, which we'll get into that in a second. And I'm like, shit, I'm about to be doing this all by myself. I'm like stressing out. Yeah. And then you said, I got to drop my son off, so I'm not going to be able to be here for the show. So it's like, so it's all in my hands now. I can do whatever I want to do. So today's episode was pretty much all I wanted to do, and I got to hold a pretty good conversation with one of my best friends of all time, Kristina Walters. Kristina is a very, very gifted musician, singer, songwriter, guitar player. She's an artist of all trades, but we definitely talked about music, and we talked about music therapy. Music therapy is something that I've always been interested in. It was a field that I studied in college, but dropped out, unfortunately, so I didn't get to pursue that. But hopefully one day maybe I can.
Well, if I could put in my 2 cents on music therapy,
absolutely.
I definitely consider all music to be some sort of therapy, but I will be honest that my favorite kind of music is probably the music that does more harm to your psyche than
people who listen to your kind of music are going to music therapy to listen to more. Yeah. Well,
yeah, I'm not much for the Led Zeppelins out there. I'm more of a
Dimmu Borgir and
Dimmu Borgir and
Cradle of Filth and all that.
Cradle of Filth,
that Hail Satan.
But
666
all
music.
of that stuff actually has positive influence as well. Mm-hmm. It's what you take from it. Psychologically, you could take it and listen to Insane Clown Posse and be like, okay, I'm gonna kill my girlfriend.
But at least you're in a good positive place mentally, and that's the key to music therapy. If you want to kill somebody,
it just depends on what you take from it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Those are my 2 cents. I like the angry stuff that are usually not easily relatable to positive energy of stuff.
Everyone's got their own taste in music, and this is a judge-free zone, and we ain't gonna judge it if that's the type of stuff you listen to. Secretly, I'm judging the shit out of you, but John isn't, so we'll just leave it at that. Anyways, man, positive show, great show, and we got to play some songs at the end. At the end of the show, you're gonna hear some songs from Kristina and myself. I got to play some guitar, and she got to sing. One of the songs is a Radiohead song, which I think a lot of the diehards will really enjoy. And then the other song is her song, 1,000 Words, completely original. It's a song she wrote 6 years ago, whenever I first met her.
Oh, wow.
And she had a video of it on YouTube, and I was like, we gotta fucking rock that song. And she's playing the guitar, and she's singing it, so I learned how to play it on the guitar, and I was like, let's fucking rock this shit out. So for the show, we got to rock out for you. And just a little behind-the-scenes stuff. It was really her first time recording music. She's never really recorded music before, other than videotapes. So this was
that's a moment.
Yeah, no, this was what you're gonna listen to was a genuine moment for her to record music, and I'm glad I got to be a part of that.
That's beautiful.
So hopefully someday soon you guys will get to hear her first album, The Kristina Walters Experience. And
I will have to say that as soon as I got home, I saw you sleeping on the couch, and then I just kind of tiptoed my ass to the computer just to hear the music. I knew I wasn't going to be able to listen to the full podcast, and I'd heard the songs. That's what I was excited to hear.
Yeah,
and it just sounded really amazing. First thing I heard was, oh yeah, that's a fucking Radiohead cover. That's pretty awesome. So definitely a great voice and great guitar playing, Niko.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. It was great. I honestly haven't been able to really hear the podcast yet, so I'm pretty excited. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until everybody else is available to hear the podcast to really listen to it. So.
We'll do a follow up on how much you hated it. And how much you're like, John, this show, Niko, this show is nothing without me.
No,
okay?
It was not. Honestly, whenever you told me that you were going to do this, that you'd be able to do it Han Solo, a little bit of me was just like, you'd think it'd probably be like, no, but I got to be there. A lot. Really, the reality was I was kind of proud.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
How so?
I mean, not that you couldn't do it, but
Yeah.
that you were gonna do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That you were gonna pull it off, and just and it was just kind of like exciting, to hear that. I mean, like that you're able to handle all the other stuff too, and we're both able to fully function. You know what I mean?
I can function without you, but you know what, man? I just want to let you know I was truly lost without you. I
no
was,
shitty jokes, huh?
No, absolutely. There was no terrible jokes besides my own. So yeah, it felt that you could feel the gap. When you listen to the show, you'll be like, "There's a piece missing to this show," and you'll know exactly what it is. But anyways, man, I don't know how to segue into this show now. So
all right, well,
you go into it.
I guess I'll... Welcome to the Conversationalists.
Let's talk music.
It looks like you kind of have like a really big monocle.
Yeah.
Like you remember those fancy monocle things that I've only ever seen like people with bald heads and like fancy mustaches have monocles. I've never seen anybody else rock a monocle.
I'm rocking it pretty fairly. I know I'm
Okay, now this is going to
to
distract me the whole time. I need you to do something. Can
I
we?
have a monocle.
Hold on. Can we do it the other way?
But you don't like my monocle? Is that it?
I like your monocle. It's just I want to be able to like have a conversation with you and not be like. It's kind of like whenever you get distracted by someone who has like a really epic mustache. Like I can't talk to you without addressing that you have a really fantastic mustache.
So is that why you shaved?
No,
Is that what happened?
that's not exactly why I shaved. I shaved because I wanted to not scratch myself so much like a goddamn bear. Even though I
But
claim
you are a bear.
I know.
It's
You know how they say like people say like black and proud and brown and proud, bear and proud.
yes.
Is that
Yes.
seem okay?
Nap time galore. Are you
Bear
serious?
for life.
It's that bear life though.
Hashtag bear life.
Soy.
Anyways,
How do you say bear in Spanish again?
oso.
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 So
I know that. You want to know how I know that? Because on the fucking bags of gummy bears that I get daily, it says Oso on it. Los Oso. So that's how I know it says. That's
Oso.
how I learned it. You got to learn somehow.
That's fantastic. That is fan-freaking-tastic.
Do you feel like you're on a talk show right now?
I
buddy?
do.
Do you feel like you're on like some like public radio show or
I
something?
do. It's kind of nerve-wracking.
Nah, please don't be nervous at all.
This has always been in my dreams.
Really?
Yeah. Actually.
Have you ever wanted to do like radio or broadcasting or anything like
Always.
that?
I still do. I listen to 94.5 in the morning out on the way to work, and I always imagine myself in there with them, joking and
Right.
laughing. But I'm just lonely and awkward and creepy.
That could be your character though. Like you have Rod Ryan, who's this big,
Yeah.
like character of charisma and like, what's up, Rod Ryan, your brother, all
Yeah.
that whole thing. And then back in the day, I don't know if she's still on it, but like there was that woman Teresa, and then there was like a whole bunch of other personalities. You could just be the quiet one in the corner, and they just sort of like look at you weird and like, well, Chris is just being a weirdo in the corner right now.
Yeah. That's me. Weird in the corner over here.
Well, don't be weird for me today. I've known you forever, so it's great to have you on the show. But please don't think of this as a show. We have microphones, we have headphones, we have this recording equipment, we have these instruments, we have all of this hula and all this fancy stuff. But when it comes down to it, we're just talking like we're friends, because we are friends.
But fancy friends.
Fancy friends.
With monocles.
With monocles
and mustaches.
well, I don't have a mustache anymore, so that kind of makes me. I wish I could just draw one on me, but then I'd be stuck.
I think I have
You are
makeup.
you
I could
are
probably,
you are a woman, so you
Yeah.
are fancy with makeup. And
Yeah.
could you give me like chola like eyebrows and
I
like
could
chola
totally.
makeup and stuff like that?
Dude, I could hook you up with some brows. Let me
Real
tell you.
quick, shout out to our mutual friend Shelby, who's pretty much already a chola.
Yeah.
She's very very chola makeup. She sent me a picture. She had kind of like earlier today. Like I had like my button-up shirt buttoned at the very top.
Mm-hmm.
She sent me a picture of her like that, and she was kind of like doing like a gang sign, and it's like, you fucking chola, man.
Oh my god, I miss her so much. Oh Jesus. Yes.
What's funny is, speaking of her, and I guess transitioning into something that I guess we're going to be talking a lot about today, is I became good friends with her, and I became very good friends with you through music. Mm-hmm. Music has always been a very important thing, I guess you could say, in the very beginning stages of our friendship, because it's sort of like the feeling each other out, no pun intended, but like sort of feeling it out, who are you and what type of person are you?
Yeah.
You know, you exchange your music preferences, you know, almost in a way, it's a lot like, and I don't mean this to be weird or anything like that, but it's almost like whenever you're doing like online dating and you got a list of like all the things that they're into or whatever, and you're like, okay, that's cool. Maybe not so much doing all of that stuff. I don't know what that is all about, but that's, you know, you sort of like...
It was like a determining factor as to whether or not this friendship was going to.
I'd say so. Like if
flourish.
if you're saying if I were to drop like, I'm really big into like, you know, Matchbox 20, you were going to be like, unsubscribe.
No, because Matchbox 20 it's all right.
Okay, that was a terrible example.
But,
if
like,
I was big into like Nickelback, you would be like, unsubscribe.
I'm all right with Nickelback
God
too.
damn it.
I'm sorry.
Who are you not?
Very wide range.
Yeah, I know. That's what makes it difficult, because
if you were to drop some shit like Lil Wayne. I'd have been like, fuck off, dude. You're a straight
unsubscribe.
douche.
Yeah, no, I would have no problem with you saying, okay, that's all right with, you know, being friends with you. If I were to say, I dig some Yeezy. I'm digging into that Lil Wayne.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
But no, like when we were first becoming friends and we were like, hey, my name's Niko. Hi, my name's Chris. We immediately were like into Circus Survive, which was a big, and I put my Circus Survive shirt on just because it was the only clean shirt I had. But I guess it makes sense that I wear it for like our show, because that was definitely a huge band in like the beginning stages of our friendship. Like sending you songs by them, sending you songs like I Felt Free, and then the difference between medicine and poisons and the dose, and it was sort of like a band that we just sort of like followed together from that stage. And then as like they were coming out with the new albums, like we followed it together. Like we followed that band for a good while. Not so much lately with like their newest stuff. We really didn't have much talks about like that. But up to about, I want to say, Violent Waves, which was the t-shirt that I'm rocking. Yeah. We were definitely like, this song, yes. This song, yes. This song, yes. It was very entertaining to me and very exciting, very enlightening to be able to have like, so what do you think about the new album? And then you being like, love it.
Like, bro, let me tell you. I remember the day that I got to hug Anthony Green, and I was like, I have to tell Niko about this.
Yeah.
I have to. It was like the most, like I told you. It was
I remember.
So touching.
I remember you calling me after you left that show, and you were just so giddy. And I remember I wasn't jealous. I was more upset that I couldn't experience that with you.
Yeah.
Because, like, that being... I mean, you went to the Pavilion. Mm-hmm. It was, like, huge. Like, there was, like, 4 bands playing. Like, Coheed and Jane's Addiction, Alice in Chains, Circus Survive. So I was like, man, I just wish I could have seen all of that with you. That would have been awesome.
It would have been.
But then whenever you hugged Anthony, I was like, I hugged Anthony. It's like, we hugged the same dude.
Wasn't it, like, amazing, though? Like,
did we just become best friends?
We
No.
did! All over again. It's a new level.
No, I absolutely agree. Whenever I met him, I'm pretty sure... Well, back in those days... there's probably a 50-50 chance he was high on something. Musicians, right? Yeah. They're always high on some shit. You know, why can't you just be high off of music? I know whenever I used to play gigs, I would just be like, just so like overwhelmed by this wave of like, I don't know what the chemical is that
adrenaline,
fucking,
hormones.
Yeah, like all like those like those. Everything was just like going around in my head like crazy, and I was like, so I wasn't like overly happy, or I wasn't like, I was just focused. I was in the zone, you know. And then that's the crazy thing about what music does to you, which is stuff that we'll talk about in a second, is that music is like the one thing in the whole world where when you're listening to it, like multiple spots in your brain are just activated. They're going, not just like one like area, like in the front of the brain, the back of the brain, the bottom of the brain, left of the brain, right of the brain. Everywhere is being stimulated, and every spot is sort of like flickering. And there's no real other thing. I mean, you can make the argument, okay, chocolate probably does something to you that's very happy, Just go ahead and say it. Probably having some dirty sex does something to you that gets
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make it weird, but I just had to say it. Coca-Cola probably does. There's definitely.
Ew.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That is not healthy.
I'm sorry.
That is not good for your body.
Did you know that when
Unsubscribe.
Well, that's the end of the show, folks. Now, when you drink Coke, it's the exact same thing as like it does the exact same thing to your brain that heroin does to your brain, because like the caffeine and the sugar combined together, it like takes you on that high, but then once you go on that low, it gets you low, and you're just sort of like,
and you feel your kidney falling.
Yeah.
out,
Oh,
liver,
fuck, man.
whatever that is. Your stomach's all rotted.
Yeah.
You're like, I need more Coke. The drug or the drink? I don't know. They're both equally fucking horrible.
Absolutely.
Let me just.
But I'm just saying is that there are stimulants out there that do stuff to you in certain spots that make your brain activate in certain ways, but nothing quite like what music does.
Yeah.
From your own experience in listening to music, doesn't matter what it is, what was like the first experience you had with music that just like sort of like lit you up, like just sort of like, wow, like this is something's going on here and I don't really understand it.
I remember being a little girl, and it was actually Britney Spears.
Really?
And my mom had gotten me a like karaoke thing, and she always told me that I was like singing as soon as I came out of the womb. Like
really?
That was a thing. And anyway, I remember having a little karaoke thing and a Britney Spears pink little dress, skirt, outfit type deal.
Now, what year is this?
Shit.
Was it like the prime time for Britney, like 97, 98, like hit me baby
one more time?
Oh my gosh, I remember seeing
please
that.
Don't be abusive.
I remember seeing that music video. And it was funny for me because with music videos back then, like that's all the exposure I had to music. Yeah. Like maybe some radio, but it was always MTV was on. So whatever music video we're playing, that's my introduction to music. So of course you're not gonna get hit with the good stuff first. You're gonna have to weave through the bullshit. But the bullshit turned into stuff that you actually enjoyed. Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, Cisco, the thong song.
Oh my god.
You know
still
what I'm
the jam. That is still the jam.
Fucking all those boy bands, all those pop stars.
Yeah.
And then after that you finally get to some metal, you get to some hard stuff, you get to some
Deftones.
Yeah, you get to some fun stuff. But you're saying Britney Spears. You're
Britney
jamming
Spears.
to Britney Spears.
See, what happened was, okay, I had my entire family sitting out in the living room, all right? And I was like in my cousin's bedroom, I think, and I was getting all ready. And I was like prepping myself for this epic show that I was about to do, because it's always been my dream to like play live music in front of people.
Really?
So it was my first crowd ever. And I went out there, and I remember I tried sliding out, but it was carpet, so I like awkwardly scooted myself. And I was like, "Are you ready?" And like little 5-year-old me, "Are you ready?" And then I remember singing it, and they acted like it was the best thing that they've ever seen, and that just kicked it.
Right.
And
now, were you the type of girl that like did you like look at your like have music playing, like have like the comb as a microphone and like
no,
practice
I had
your
the karaoke thing.
Oh, you had the karaoke.
That was one really good thing that I like. In my childhood, I didn't have very expensive things because my mom was a working gal.
That's what I was gonna say though, because like most people who don't have access to those sort of things, they'll take like the candlestick, or they'll take the comb. They'll stand in front of the mirror and they'll act like they're in front of the audience, sort of act out their performance.
I still do that.
Really?
Yes.
What was the last song that you did that to?
Oh, okay. One Dance by Drake.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Unsubscribe.
I love that song.
No, I'm just kidding.
I love it.
No, I admit I do the exact same thing too. I don't know. Maybe this is and I don't mean to make this like a gender thing, but like seeing a dude like just sort of like, well, maybe it depends. Like if you ever see like a dude just sort of like air bassing or air guitaring or air drumming, it's sort of like, okay, he's doing this thing. But if you see like a girl like flopping her hair around and like dancing around, it's like, okay, one of you looks fucking stupid. I don't know which one,
Wait,
but
that's not socially acceptable?
I don't think so.
Jesus. Oh my god,
I'm just saying, if you go to a Rush concert, you would see like a whole bunch of like mid-30 dudes like pretending to play the bass with the guy while he's playing,
Just spazzing it.
Or if you
That would
see
be great.
people like tapping their knees, or they find some way to like play it out in their head. Even though a lot of people who aren't musically gifted or they've never played an instrument in their life, sometimes that's all they really have.
Yeah.
Just sort of like created in their mind
They've got to feel it.
that there really is an instrument in front of them and they're acting out this dream of theirs. But what you're saying is when you were 5, you were already doing it. You were like karaokeing it, or did you do karaoke, or were you just using the machine?
It was karaoke.
Okay.
Yeah, I was totally karaoke. It was horrible. I can imagine it was horrible because my voice was really squeaky.
Right.
But yeah.
They say that the earlier that you do it, usually is like that means that you're gonna grow up to like become a prodigy, so to say. Like, they say like if one day you walk into your house and you see your daughter like playing on pots and pans or like stuff like that, there's probably a good like 70 to 80% chance that she's going to be musically gifted because she's already doing it at such a young age.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For me, it really didn't come in until I was like a teenager. But I was always, my mom tells me stories about how like whenever I'd listen to music or watch music videos, I was always like honed in, like focused, like locked on to the music. Like there was no way of like getting my attention. Like if I was a kid and I was watching a music video and she was trying to get my attention, she'd have to fucking knock me down. Nicholas, what? I'm trying to watch Axl Rose and Slash fucking rock out right now.
Look at them.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
I don't know if that says something, because like I said, like the earlier that you start, usually, and I think it goes with like most musicians who pursue it in like high school and in college, and then try and get into like schools of music, like because they're constantly stimulating that piece of their brain with music. They say that if you're able to play music, you're just a teensy bit more smarter. I say that with the bunny ears, like I guess because you're constantly
Smarter.
because more smarter
More
than the
smarter.
average bear.
¿Cuáles?
But no, they say that there's two different kinds of people. There's people who listen to music and there's people who play music. And when you listen to music, obviously it does what I was saying earlier, how it sparks everything in your brain all over the place. But when you play music, it's the exact same thing, but just a little bit more of a heightened, like a little bit more amplified. Like it's like your brain's doing a couple crunches, up in your head. Do you feel like do you feel like you have, like, if you want to pursue music, do you feel like you kind of have to like go in early so you kind of like build it up, like like example, your daughter, would you ever like has she ever like shown any signs of being like musical yet or anything like that?
Yeah, actually, whenever I start singing, she matches every little note that I do,
Really?
and it's really cute. It's the cutest thing, because I'll just like, what's a song? I can't think of a song right now, but I'll start singing something, and then she'll just do it with me, and it's the same notes, and it's the cutest thing. I can't handle it,
Right.
but I know that she'll. I don't care what she grows to be or do. Like,
Well,
she could,
I'm not trying to say it like that. I'm just saying like what I had heard, or what they say on the streets, is that when we're in our mama's bellies,
yeah,
we're during like the last trimester. We're kind of like beginning to hear things outside of the belly. We're beginning to hear voices and sounds and music. And by the time we get out, I think it's probably like 6 months after you're born. And like if you were to play a song for a little baby, they would start to rock back and forth, or they'd start to move their little hands and or whatever, because it's something that they're already familiar with. It's that familiarity that with music that they're able to finally express what they're feeling through the music. And that's crazy. That happens at fucking like 6 months old.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Fucking, you see grown people like just become alive and like dance and like rock out, but it's like that all started before you could even do anything. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking nuts. Something that I feel has become a great tool for music, or excuse me, not. You can consider it a tool for music, but something that music has been able to be used for is you go ahead. I'm gonna go on a tangent. Chris is gonna take a piss real quick, and I'm gonna go on a quick tangent.
Thank you.
All right. So movies nowadays, man, what the fuck is the deal? Okay, we're back. What I was wanting to get into was music in the past 60 years has now been turned into a form of medicine. form of therapy, music therapy. I went to college for this. Obviously, I didn't make the cut, but maybe one day I can, take a chance and go for it. And again, but music therapy is kind of an interesting form of medicine. Are you familiar with music therapy?
I'm very familiar with music therapy, yes.
I went to school for it, but that was like 6 years ago. Before I even met you, probably. Yeah, exactly before I met you. I was taking classes in music psychology, music therapy, and it really opened my eyes. It actually humbled me a lot in a way, because at that point, I'm a rock star. I'm doing shows for a lot of people. I'm just sort of like, yeah, I'm the shit. I know exactly what it's all about. But then I go into this classroom with like actual musicians, like real true musicians, and
you're a douche.
I'm total a douche. Yeah, exactly. I knew I was in for a run with my money, because like the professor was like, hey, what note is this? And she did a chord on the piano, and everyone was like, no, it wasn't that. She hummed the note. She hummed the note, and she was like,
wow.
Does everybody know what this is? And it was like, yeah, that's a G. I was like, fuck, that's a G? Oh, okay.
Shit.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I would have definitely felt like a douche.
Yeah. But what was cool about it, though, is I got to learn about what music does during our break. A lot of stuff that I was saying earlier, but what I saw is how it's used as like at old folks' homes, and like how it's used in hospitals. People who recently have strokes, who have Parkinson's, fucking kids who are born autistic, or
Alzheimer's.
Yeah. All the sort of mental disabilities. There's people out there that are using this new form of medicine, music therapy, to help them, to comfort them.
Especially people that have like depression issues and anxiety.
Oh yeah. Learning that people, women right before they go into their pregnancies, like music therapy being used for that. Like that was something I didn't know. Like I imagine, and you obviously you don't have to go into details of what pregnancy was like, but like those moments before, like right before it's about to happen, and then thinking about the afterwards after it happens. Like I imagine there's a lot of stress going on. There's probably more like, I'm so excited and so happy, but there's also like, holy shit, there's about to be a baby coming.
Yeah.
But knowing that even in that realm, music therapy is still being used to comfort you. It's also being used so that patients aren't given so much like anesthesias and so much painkillers. That's what made me most happy when I found out that music therapy was being used for this sort of thing. Just sort of like tone it down so you're not having to like dope people up so much. And it's funny to think that stuff like chords, basic chords on a guitar, little shakers, maracas, that they can do this sort of thing. Like, have you ever seen any videos of like actual like music therapists like with their what's the word, like their clients or whatever, like people that they actually work with music therapy?
I've never really like worked with a music therapist or anything.
I'm not saying
like
personally.
that.
I'm just saying, have you ever seen like videos or like what they do? Like some of them, I saw one where this kid, I think it was trying to get him just to be more movable, because he was just very like still person, didn't really have much movements. I don't know exactly how to word it, but like he wasn't very active, I guess you could say. And the guy put these like clappers, like it was like a wood block with a little strap on it, so you could put it on his hand, and he started like clapping together. And the therapist was sort of like having a rhythm on his knees, just sort of like they were creating rhythms together. And I noticed that the kid just started laughing. He started smiling, started laughing. He's so like, this is like, I think it was a lot. It was the thing about music therapy is like whenever you like they do stuff like that, it's almost like a rewarding feeling, because like they were able to do something in music being so happy and delightful thing to hear, being rewarded by those happy sounds.
It's even more. It's even more inspiring whenever like they can be a part of it.
Yeah.
It's not just watching the music; it's actually becoming a part of the music itself.
Yeah,
and that is such an elating feeling that I can't even.
No, absolutely.
I mean,
I
I was some Starbucks for this.
I I was talking with a buddy about it, and he was saying, you know, because he used to work in a school where, you know, it was kind of challenged kids, and they used music therapy there, and it got to the point where like some of the kids became like so gifted musicians, and like they were the masters now. Like they were just because they had gone through it for so long that they had gotten so good at it.
Wow.
You know how it starts from a simple level of like clapping sounds and shaking sounds and vocal sort of rhythms. Like I saw a video of this old man who had just recently had a stroke and he couldn't talk anymore, or he had difficulty talking. And this guy, he goes up to him. He's real, like, it's very intimate. I love how intimate it is. It's like kind of like how we're doing right now. They're sitting in front of each other, you know, eye to eye, just sort of like in that moment together. Mm-hmm. And he's sort of like humming a melody. Like I think they were doing, it was like one of those like those shanty pirate songs. Like,
oh my god,
you know, it was like some like silly song, like just something that had like rhythm and melody to it. And the old guy, he kind of sounded, you know, at first, but then he was starting to form words.
Yeah.
And then it went from them singing like an actual song to like him being able to say, "Hi, my name's Pete, how are you?" But he kind of doing it, you could hear like certain inflections on notes where he's like, he learned it from singing to develop it into a sentence.
That sounds amazing.
Right.
That's, oh my god. That's fantastic.
But not so much talking about other people. I want to divert this to you. Have you ever...
Oh, goodness.
Sorry, no pressure. Have you ever, like, intentionally tried to use music as, like, your own form of therapy? Not, like, your music, like, creating music, but, like, have you ever, like, I feel this, and I feel like this is... I need to listen to this kind of music to, like, lift me up, or, like... I know I've been depressed, and I kind of wanted to stay in that moment for a while, for some unknown reason, so I knew exactly the right sad song to play to just keep me in that rut. It fucking sucks that you have to do that shit, but it's totally fucking real.
It's like I think it's like what is it? It's kind of a masochistic type thing to do.
Really?
Kind of, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, like, sadistic is whenever you inflict pain. Masochism is whenever you enjoy the pain. So whenever, like, if you're feeling depression and whatnot, and it's been a minute since you've suffered, you know, you're like, man, my head has been in the clouds. I deserve this pain. I deserve to feel like an asshole right now because I am an asshole. Uh-huh. So you got to stay there for a minute and actually rehabilitate yourself and figure out what the hell your problem is. You know, like, that's the whole reason whenever I got into a bad mood, I would listen to a depressing song because I needed somebody that could be able to relate to me in my situation, that I could relate with. Mm-hmm. And then eventually, with those depressing songs, you could find a way out of that depression because there are songs that go from, oh, fuck my life, to, but it's okay because I'm still alive.
Right.
You know?
Like, do you, sorry to interrupt you, do you feel like it's whenever you're in those places of, like, complete isolation, like, or if you're creating this, like, I feel like the most depressed I ever am is whenever I'm around a lot of people, because I still feel like I'm completely alone.
Yeah.
But, like, there's still, like, this, like, isolation bubble that, like, it's almost like a bubble that comes around me, but it's kind of fogged, so I can't see out of it, really. I'm just sort of, like, stuck in this place. Mm-hmm. So do you think it's, like, whenever you're in, like, those isolated little bubbles or those spots that it sort of hits a little bit harder?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
It's a beautiful feeling, though. I mean,
strange that it is. I think that's why people stay in those moments.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard. It's a hard thing to get out of it, but once you do, you feel like fucking He-Man, like fucking I have the power.
I
have
the power. Not so much his cat.
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck was his cat's?
Cringer.
Was it?
I think something like that. Yeah.
I thought it was like Snarf or some shit.
What? No, it's like Cringer because he was so skittish and whatnot.
Anyways, this is not a He-Man show. But anyways, you know, you're saying like being in a sad place, you listen to a sad song.
Yeah.
But eventually it turns from one thing to like, but you're okay. You're gonna make it.
It's kind of like "Float On" by Modest Mouse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh fucking the song right before "Float On," "World at Large." I don't know if you're familiar with that song, but basically every single damn lyric. And we did a show on Modest Mouse, so I don't mean to repeat myself with anything I said on that show.
Uh-oh.
But all the lyrics that he's saying, it feels like where I'm at in the present moment. It's a lot of like even the exact line that comes from that song is like, still haven't gotten anywhere that I want. I know whenever I'm in a sad mood, like that's the song that I go to nowadays. World at Large by Modest Mouse. But like how you were just about to say, fucking Float On. It's kind of polar opposite to that. It's kind of got an upbeat. It's kind of got the guitar whenever it like that's fucking genius songwriting right there, because they had to know as soon as they fucking lit that thing up, it's like, oh shit, everyone's gonna get,
we all float on, all right.
Right?
Yes.
But anyways,
I did not run my car into a cop car the other day, by the way. I wanted to.
Right.
I don't understand why cops like to ride your ass, but I am not privy to that. I don't enjoy it.
You know what I'm not privy to? Fucking cops dragging people from their houses when they're just chilling. Anyways.
We're going to chill on that.
Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Anyways.
Savage fuck!
But anyways, what I want to get at, if you can contain yourself.
Okay.
I didn't mean to turn it into that kind of show.
Doesn't matter. Jesus Christ. This is some political shit.
No, hell no.
I haven't even been
9/11 was an inside job. Okay, that's all I'm
It
gonna
really
say.
was. Bush did it.
Like a specific song though. I mean, would you say like what would be like a certain song that you would go to like just sort of like
Be sad?
No, not be sad, but just as like a form of therapy. It could be to if you were at a sad moment, if you were in a happy moment, if you needed guidance, you needed help. Because like a lot of people say that, if they want to be inspired, they put on like Eye of the Tiger by, or they put on like some like very motivating sounding song, either lyrically or musically. They put something on that just sort of gives them a little spark, just something to just get them moving. Have you ever gone anything like to that extent, or have you ever just sort of like, I guess what I want to say is like, when you listen to music, maybe this isn't what I'm trying to get to, but I'm just curious. When you listen to music, do you go more towards like the words, stuff that you can hear, like something like, to find somebody that can relate to the things that you're going through, or somebody that can voice the things that you're going through? Or do you go to like the music and the melodies, stuff that just sort of like sways itself into your brain and you just sort of like get lost in it? Because I think either options are possible. It's very blue pill, red pill. Like, which one do you want to go with to sort of like ease your pain? You know what I'm saying?
It looks like I'm fucked.
Or is it a safe like spot in the middle though that you go with?
It's the most wonderful spot in the middle, because I want the music to be something that my emotions, because you can't really always lay out words for how you feel, So I want the music to kind of be the rhythm of how I'm feeling, and the lyrics to be the story that I'm going to tell, or
right.
the story that they tell in reality.
Isn't it kind of funny though, whenever you just happen to come across a song that lyrics is like literally like word for word exactly what you're going through? Like, that's exciting, but that's like kind of like haunting at first, because like, first off, how do you know this about me?
Like,
are you watching me right now?
They're my spirit animal. They made this song just for me.
That's what it feels like.
And a few other million people.
Right? No, fuck the million people that listen to this song. This song is for me.
This is me only. Fuck you, I don't care what you feel. I feel it more.
No, that happened to me one time, and it was at a very, very like dark time in my life. It was actually like probably 3 years ago. I was still in Huntsville. I just moved back to Huntsville.
Yeah.
And I heard this song, and it was like, it was saying everything that I had felt. And it was even like, there's like a line in there talking about how, I can't remember every lyric, but it was made reference to coffee or something like that.
What was the song?
The song is called Someone Great by LCD Sound System. Great song.
I don't know that song.
We'll listen to it later.
I'm very upset about this.
But like, it was making references to things that were going on in my day. Like, I remember someone had gave me a cup of coffee while I was at work. So like, there's the coffee reference. One of the other lines was like, there's all this work that needs to be done. It's like, I was like up to my ass with work that I needed to get done at the moment. And then another line was like, look at this lovely weather. I'm surprised it's not raining. I remember so many times looking outside the window and be like, I think it's going to rain today. Like, so many things were going on in this song that literally happened on that day. And the day that I discovered the song.
Wow.
I never heard the song before. I discovered it.
That's magic.
And then all these words are like, holy shit, you are like, everything just happened. When did this song come out? And then it came out like a couple years ago that I just never heard it. But I was like, holy shit, this feels so damn close to home. So anytime, like, and then this is, I guess, what you were saying, like the masochistic side to it. If I'm just kind of in that rut and I'm just kind of like going back to like those dark times or whatever, I go back to that moment and I play that song, and it's like takes you back to those. We were talking earlier. We were talking earlier about how certain things trigger you. Like I was talking about like the slamming doors that trigger me. I apologize. I don't remember the one that you were talking about though.
Oh, no, I've got several. I've got
Okay,
way too
well,
many. It was just the fact that I had driven by the... Okay, shout out. Actually, I didn't even think about this. Okay. Shout out to the people that housed me for about 5 minutes while I was panicking, and I was, 14?
Yeah.
14 years old. You guys are awesome. I drive by your house every day wanting to thank you, but I know you don't live there anymore.
Shout out. But anyways, no, we were just talking about triggers and how things like certain things like pop up in your head and take you to that place. I remember, funny enough, I was listening to Circus Survive's Violent Waves. I listened to it one night when I was falling asleep. I had the headphones in my ears and I fell asleep, and that night I had a dream about a certain somebody, and that not you, somebody else.
I know.
And then
I don't know that somebody, but I know of that somebody.
And I was like, holy shit, that was fucking nuts. I can't believe I just had a dream about that person.
Oh, snap.
And then the next night, I put the headphones back in and I play Violent Waves again, and then they reappear in my dream again.
Uh-oh.
So I'm like, okay.
There's a pattern.
There's a pattern going on here. I haven't seen this person in I don't know how many years. I'm going to keep doing this so I can see the person.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, that third time's a charm. I did it again for the third night, and they showed up. And it was like... they say dreams are like your brain's way of processing what's going on. Like if you're like constantly thinking about somebody, you're gonna be seeing them in your dreams. But I think I was like adding one and one and one and one to each other, and I just found the right equation to create what I wanted to see in my dreams. But I think also the music kind of fueled it, because that album just had like a really specific tone to it.
Dude. Yes.
It had some darkness to it. It had some lightness to it. It had some real dark moments. But yeah, dude, I think listening to like that kind of music, I don't know if you want to call it therapy or if you just want to just call it like just trying to fucking get through it. You know, you listen to certain songs, listen to certain kind of music.
You can actually call it music therapy, because you legitimately, if you're getting through something or if you're utilizing something to get through it, it's kind of like a therapy. I'm not saying go and use other people, because that's not therapy. That's being an asshole.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can't even... I mean, I wish people would not be so open nowadays.
What?
Well, no. I say that in, like, if I were to say... If I were to go up to somebody and I'm like, hey, man, how's it going? It's like, man, my wife left me.
Oh, yeah.
My dog left me. My lawyer left me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all these people left me. I got nobody. Blah, blah, blah. You know, I was like, just asking how your day was, man. I don't know.
Really shitty, I can tell. I'm sorry about that.
Maybe you should listen to some Pink Floyd and calm the fuck down.
All right.
Right.
Or, like, I don't know, I'll Find a Way by Circus Survive. You
Oh
can
my
do
god.
that too.
Man, that's a great fucking song.
God, that's...
What's your favorite song off that album?
I'll Find a Way.
Really?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
I My Only Friend was a really great song, I feel. It has a sick-ass guitar solo by Brendan Ekstrom, my favorite guitar player. Phantasmagram, which is very, like, bouncy and kind of, like... I remember listening to it with a friend, and they were like, wait a second, this is fucking Circus Survive? Because it was, like, way out there than anything they'd ever done at that point. Fucking yeah.
I'm addicted to this salt. I'm sorry.
Man, for people listening, we're totally licking some beer salt lime, which I was saying takes me back to a memory of being a little kid. We used to ride the bus to go home after school, and there used to be the older kids. They'd be like licking Lucas salt or lemon salt or whatever, and they just had the bottles with them the whole time, and they'd just be licking it up. And I remember at the time thinking, there's this powdery white substance here. Oh my god, are we about to do drugs?
Oh my god, no.
And then I tried it and I was like, this is kind of sweet. Drugs are kind of sweet, guys. And then, yeah, that just led to a whole life of shit.
Drugs are kind of sweet. Do you remember those sticks? Those sugar sticks that we'd all pretend were cigarettes in the winter.
Oh man, no.
Smoke them on the bus.
I used to go. There was a little it wasn't even a gas station. It was just sort of like a little spot, kind of like a quickie stop by my neighborhood. Totally, it would have been the perfect place for us to post up, Jay and Silent Bob style. That would have been the perfect spot. But yeah, you go in there, you get a piece of candy for like a nickel. Like this was like back in the day when I was just a wee little lad. So you go and you get a piece of candy for a nickel. It'll be an old sweet Mexican lady back there. I'm mijo, you know. But yeah, we used to get little packs of candy cigarettes. And I remember going home and my mom seeing me have one. What the hell?
Oh, God. If my mom ever caught me with a cigarette, my ass was beat.
Even if it was just a piece of candy?
Even if it was just a piece of candy.
Man.
That's why I don't smoke. That's why I don't like smoking. Because my husband will be like, hey, babe, can you get me a pack? I'm like, fuck you, no. Yeah. You've got arms and legs for the time being. You do it. Yeah. That's why he doesn't ask me that anymore.
Right. He learned.
He learned quickly. Yeah.
Something else that I'm curious if you notice, we were talking a second ago about like how there's inspiring music like Eye of the Tiger and like those stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
You notice in like movies and like different forms of media, like TV shows or video games in particular. You're a avid gamer. You work at a game store. You got to notice that when you're playing a game, some music's going on in the background.
Yeah.
It could be from fucking Call of Duty. Da da da. Da-da-da, da-da-da, you know,
sorry, I was thinking of Doom. My bad.
Well, okay, but you know what I'm saying? Like those first-person shooters that are very, like, high testosterone, you know, just sort of like, fuck yeah kind of games. You got, like, the heavy rock kind of going. The other day, not the other day, a while back, I was playing No Man's Sky when that came out, and they had very beautiful music, and I was just, in that moment, I was like, this feels so beautiful. This feels so perfect because of the music. The music was just doing something. It created this atmosphere unlike anything else that I've ever heard. Do you think like the media kind of caught on with like what music does to people and just sort of like, because like you turn on a commercial for fucking toilet paper and it's like whistling and do.
You're like, damn, I really need some toilet paper.
I need to
now.
take a shit.
Like,
I just want to take a shit right now. I didn't even eat anything today. Let's just take it. Just buy the toilet paper. Just take some shits.
I'm gonna take some shits right now. I gotta pee. No.
But do you think like the all the multiple medias out there, they're trying to capitalize on what music can do to people, just sort of like get that spark out of you?
Yeah, real quick conspiracy theory. They're the ones that like kind of came up with it, if you think about it.
Really?
Because they were like, yeah, like back in the, what was it? When did TV start? TV start. When did that happen? Like,
was that like
50s, 40s?
No, was that like post World War II?
Some shit.
Probably, because yeah, it was. Well, no, it had to have been during the war because they needed to spread the word like the Nazis are coming.
Yeah, propaganda like a motherfucker. But like, I mean, the media has always been able to do stuff like that. But at the same time, like if you take it back all the way to like caveman times, we would stand around a fire worshiping a fire and have music to that.
Right.
Like music has always been it's the culmination of just vibrations and frequencies that you're just like, oh my god, oh Jesus, yes. And you connect to another part of you that you don't normally connect to. It's like whenever you're having a conversation with someone, it's very stimulating, unless it's somebody that's not very intelligent, and then you're just like, for fuck's sake, please stop talking.
Right.
I hate feeling like that though. I feel like an asshole.
How often do you say, for fuck's sake, will you please stop talking in your head right now? Quite often. Right.
I'd say it out loud quite often too.
Really?
Yeah. That's why I don't have friends.
You just say fuck the bullshit. Just like
yeah, I would rather talk about something else right now because like I don't want people to focus on something that's so small.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't care about some fucking nail polish. Okay. Jesus Christ. Can we talk about food? Yeah. That's important. How about we talk about food?
Yeah.
That's why we're friends because we're foodies.
Exactly. You know? No, I'm in the same boat because like there's this guy that I work with, and if he listens, I don't give a fuck. But there's this guy. He's the type of guy that he'll talk, and like you're trying to like walk because you need to go do something. And like they keep talking. Yes. Like I'm on like he's on aisle 1. I'm on aisle 7. And he's still talking about what he was trying to talk with me when I was like on the same aisle with him. And I was like, dude, I don't care. Like I'm all the way over here. This should be a sign that I don't want to talk to you. Who has conversations from 500 meters away from each other? Like
that's confidence though. You got to give him that. I mean, at least he's trying.
I never thought about that.
At least he's like, you know what? I really need someone to listen to me because everybody else is a fucking
I've
asshole.
never taken that
And
into
then here
account.
you are. Like, whenever people start doing that to me, and I realize, sometimes they talk out of anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, walk with me and talk with me. I'll listen to you. I'm not gonna do anything about the conversation because
But-
you're just talking to let yourself talk.
Right. But this guy, he just wants to tell me about how he fucking owned on, like, League of Champions for, like, all these hours. Like,
League of what?
whatever, League of Legends, whatever that,
Oh, okay. I
some
was like,
computer, I don't
okay.
know. I'm
All
not
right.
about that life.
Well, all right. Take that into consideration. Does he have a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Maybe she doesn't want to hear about that shit.
Okay.
All right.
Man,
And then he's like, man,
whose
I
show
need
is
someone
this?
that will.
Is this your show or is this my goddamn
I know.
show?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I told you this is my dream.
Right. Back to what we were talking about a second ago. I definitely think if you watch certain movies, it's sort of like music is really like the biggest tool, or sound in general is like the biggest tool to what you feel during the movies. Like if you were to watch, for example, greatest movie of all time, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and if you were to have a completely different soundtrack to that, it could turn into any kind of movie. It could turn into a scary movie. Surprisingly enough, that movie could easily be turned into a scary movie or like a very like psychological like mind fuck of a movie. It already is. But once you add the right kind of music to it, it turns kind of. No, I'm good, thank you.
Jesus.
It turns into more of like a sort of like more of on the like dark comedy, still tugging on the heartstrings, sort of kind of one of those things. I think sound in general has so much to do to the experience of it being even any movie, but also if you think about it, the complete absence of sound can add so much. I remember watching fucking The Shining, or like some like old movie like that, like where there was no sound. It was just like them walking, or just them talking to each other, and there was just like no sound, and it just felt so like fucking like claustrophobic in a way. It just felt like so like almost disturbing.
Yeah. You're like looking around you to make sure. No, I'm not going to say that. That's too far. It's been too soon.
Yeah.
We can edit stuff out, right?
If you want to.
Okay, we're going to edit this out. But it's like you're in the movie theater and you're watching some shit like that, then you're looking around to make sure nobody's standing up with a fucking gun trying to kill you.
Yeah, that's pretty scary stuff.
That's where that shit takes me.
Oh man.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, I'm not gonna edit that out. Anyways, but no.
The fuck you aren't.
But you know what I'm trying to say though. How either the absence of sound or the adding of sound can add to that experience. I think nobody wants to be in silent film days anymore. Even though a fucking silent film came out, I think in like 2012, just sort of like for the whole niche feel of it, like sort of like, hey, we're bringing back a silent film, guys, check it out. But music adds to it. Fucking, did you ever see the movie Interstellar by any chance?
Yeah.
With all right, Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
I remember like the last few scenes of that movie with the music and just sort of like this unknown feeling of what's going on whenever he's like in the fifth dimension or whatever it was he was in.
Plot twist.
Yeah,
back to back
and
to
like
back, and you're,
he's like
mind-fucked.
yeah, but like everything that was going on, it just felt so. And I don't know if that's just Christopher Nolan movies because he did the Batman movies and no, Hans Zimmer. I think Hans Zimmer was the composer. You know what I'm talking about? The Dark Knight Rises. Christopher Nolan did those films, but Hans Zimmer, I believe, was the composer that added the music to it. So props to Hans. I don't know, man. I think that makes you either love a movie or hate a movie, or love a video game or hate a video game. What your brain is processing, because obviously you're in that moment because stuff's going on in front of you. Matthew McConaughey is right there, so obviously you're locked onto him. Obviously,
I mean, like, how could
those
you not
abs
be?
though? Obviously,
That smile though.
that swagger, that Texas swagger though.
Oh, all right. All right. Okay, all right.
But whenever you add to like that what you're seeing with certain sounds and certain music, it really just sort of amplifies it. It makes you feel like a little bit more. I don't know. It just gives it more of a fuller feeling, a fuller experience too.
I was actually kind of thinking before we even started this, it would be like really neat if we had some background music, some like soft little rhythms. And melodies and
would you
stuff.
want like some like Shawshank Redemption style, like na, like just sort of like. What would no? Okay, this begs the question: if you could walk around, like if you could walk down the sidewalk and have like your theme music, Bunny Ears theme music playing the whole time, Like, what kind of music would you be playing?
I would straight play the fuck out of some Frank Sinatra.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Why all Blue Eyes? Why would you sing? Why would you play him?
Because, oh my God, like, why wouldn't you play him? Like, I mean, it just takes you to a time where, like, you got a jazz in your step, man. You're kicking it,
Right?
And everybody else is like, man, that's a nice life to live.
Oh yeah,
It's just Frank Sinatra that shit out.
That I was not expecting you to name drop all Blue Eyes. I remember listening to My Way when I was like 14. I did it my way. I thought, this is the dopest shit I've ever heard. Mm-hmm. And this is at a time when I was like big into like alternative rock and metal. Fucking punk rock, 70s punk rock, the Sex Pistols. Mm-hmm. And fucking, I hear My Way by Frank Sinatra. And I thought, this is the dopest shit I've ever heard. Because he's talking straight about just living his own life. Mm-hmm. He's doing everything his way. And when you think about, if you go back to those days, like Frank Sinatra was like the coolest dude in the world. Like it was like sort of like if he shook your hand, you were pretty much in for like the rest of your life. Like there was like that.
There was a soul-touching handshake.
Exactly.
Very similar to Anthony Green's.
Well, see, I don't remember his handshake. I just remember his hug, and all I remember about his hug was dude was bony as fuck. Okay?
Oh well, he was like a lot more. He was in his health. He was pretty much peak health whenever I got to hug him, and it wasn't.
That's good.
I didn't feel a physical hug though. Like I keep trying to explain this to people, and I just can't. But it was just like my soul had been dug out from the depths of shit and just hugged and held and loved. And it was like, there you go. And then he let me go and he was like, I like your hair. And it was a fucking wig.
Yeah, I remember.
And I was like, use a boss. Thank you. You know?
Yeah, no, I wish I had that experience. But I did have a really positive experience when I gave him a hug. Like, I gave him a hug and I just said, listen, man, I just want to let you know that I think you're the greatest.
Yeah.
And you know what he said back to me?
Gushed.
He said, nah, man, you're the greatest.
You're right.
I was like,
you're so inspiring.
You want to go back and, in the back of your bus and just fuck right now, Anthony Green? Because I'll totally just give you my body if you want it.
I am your slave.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyways, man.
I don't know. He's great, though. He is very fantastic.
But I guess moving on.
Moving on from
sweet
that
awkward
transition moment. Sweet disposition.
You yourself, you are. You can go ahead and say it. You're a singer. You're a musician.
Yes.
You play guitar. You're an artist. You're a musician.
I also dance.
You also dance. Do you feel how has going to these different art forms, like when you sing or like when you write a song, do you sort of like feel like the process go like from like the beginning processes all the way towards the end? Do you sort of like see yourself like, okay, I'm in the early stages now, it's still very fresh, it's still very like nothing really going on, but then like a little bit more into it, like if you're writing a song, for instance, like you have a song hot out on the sheets called 1,000 Words right now. Just want to plug your new album coming out soon. The Chris Walters Experience. Beautiful album.
Thank you for naming my album. Right.
But like when you were writing a song in like the very, very early stages of it, and not just 1,000 Words, but just saying like any song in general, you can go fucking back to, what was that one hit that you used to do back in the day?
Sing It Back?
That one and Picture Frames? Was that?
Yeah. That was actually. Let me tell you something. Okay. Actually, I don't have an early stage in making my music. I just used to. I mean, I taught myself how to play guitar.
Yeah.
All right. Obviously, I wasn't very good, but I would take the rhythms that I had, and I would just like all of the words, every feeling that I'd had would just rush, and it would just come into a vocabulary of incredibleness. And I would just record it immediately. And then I'd write it back down, and that would be my process. And then over time, I'd get better at singing the song, or maybe I'd switch the words up.
So as you were doing it, you were sort of like realizing like what spots you needed to fix. Yeah. Like it was all processing in your head.
Yeah, kind of like what we did today whenever I had to switch up the chorus just a wee bit.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's great whenever you can like write a song. And that happened with me and John. We rewrote the intro song to our show, and because before it was very like 8-bit techno, whatever, and we switched it up, and we wrote it and we recorded it in one day, and then the next day it was like I listened to it and I was like, okay, we can change this up, we can do this a little bit different, let's do this a little bit. You sort of like process it as you're going through time. It all sorts to like form. You know, I think when you first write a song, it's all just like very exciting because you're like, this sounds fucking lit. People are gonna fucking dig this shit, right? But then you listen to it the next day, it's like, nobody is gonna get lit to this shit. Like, nobody is gonna like this.
Like,
what am
why
I
did
doing
I do
with my
this?
life? Like all
Why
these
am I-
all these
Oh,
fucking
God.
insecurities and all these questions that you're creating on your own. You're doing it all to yourself. It's like, okay, I could sing this different, I could do this different. It's like, instead of just sort of like being in that moment. You know what I mean? But I think if you want to get on the technical side of music writing, I think you kind of have to do that. I think you sort of got to break down the whole emotional side to it and just sort of like, okay, what am I doing? How do I do it? How can I get better? You know what I'm saying? So when you were writing songs, was that pretty much how it was for you? Like you started it, and then you were like, you say you recorded it immediately. I mean, you used to do like videotapes. You used to record videos.
Picture frames. That was the first time the song ever came out.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even think of the lyrics before filming it.
Really? So
Yeah.
it was all on the spot?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Like I'm like a singing rapper. That's freestyling.
You were freestyling. Yeah, you were
kind of style.
freestyling.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome
I
that people could
freestyle.
actually do that. You know.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite experiences. Whenever you just create it on the spot and you
Yeah.
just feel it. It's there. You know it's there. It's always been there. You just gotta sort of like break through those barriers as far as like your nervousness and your all these insecurities inside, and just let it flow through you, man.
Let it flow. Let it go.
Let
I
it
used to,
go.
Like, I mean, I forgot what I was gonna say.
That's cool.
But I just love freestylers. They're great. They're fantastic.
When you write a song, do you immediately feel like, say like you're writing a song, like you're angry about something or you're upset about something, and you're upset, you're like, I just gotta take this out on my guitar, I just need to sing these words, I need to say fuck you to this guy and this person and this person.
I'm out.
Yeah. But once you get through that hurdle and then you get through it and you start to feel better. Like, have you ever gone through any experience like that?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are all of your songs driven by some sort of negative emotion, or have
No.
you ever written like a happy song?
Yes. I don't remember it though.
Is it on your new album, The Chris Walters
It will
Experience?
be,
Okay.
yes.
No, it'll
I
be
mean,
on the sophomore album.
We're gonna work with this.
Okay.
Since you're coming up with my own fucking album. Okay. You're gonna be a producer now. That's
I wish we could do stuff
it.
together
We can
musically.
collaborate. What do you mean you wish?
No, I mean,
Hey.
I'm just saying, well, I mean, you living where you live and me living where I live, and then our busy ass schedules. You have a fucking child.
That didn't stop Beyonce.
That
Although she
Are
had
you
a child
comparing
after.
yourself to Queen Bee?
Fuck no.
Okay, you
I
better
worship
not.
her. I'm just saying. You gotta have some sort of idol, you know?
No, yeah, that's absolutely true. I think that's what made me kind of the musician that I am, because I looked up to so many people at once. I remember I wanted to be so many people. I wanted to be, and this is going to start to turn very dark and negative, but I remember at one point I was like, I wish I could be anybody but me. I wish I could be that fucking guy on the TV. I wish I could be that guy on the stage. I wish I could be that guy on the radio. But you know what? I did become that guy, being me. I got to be on stage with my favorite band, Before I Awake.
You're on the radio.
I got an online radio show.
Yeah.
But then again, I actually was on the radio, 94.5 The Buzz. No, seriously.
What?
Back in like 2009. It was like late at night. Like at 4 a.m.
Oh, you called them.
No.
No, you didn't call them? Okay.
we plugged we like sent our music to like a whole bunch of radio stations. It was like an hour like where they played local music.
Oh my god!
Yeah. So they played our song, and I remember finding out about it like at one of our shows. Like some guy came to like mix, like be like the sound guy for our show because he was working with somebody else, and he was like, "Hey, you guys are Before I Awake, right?" It's like, "Yeah, we're Before I Awake." He's like, "Oh man, I heard your song on the radio the other day," and I just fucking lit up like, "What? What? Who? Me? You heard me on the radio? What?"
You did what?
Yeah, excuse me. And then yeah, dude. But I think it's having those years. No, I'm fine, thank you.
You really?
No, I'm fine. I don't need your goddamn lime salt. I'm
Lime.
sorry.
Respect it,
I'm sorry.
Mr. Flashback. Can I have some more water, please?
Oh.
Can I go?
Oh yeah, you go
I
ahead.
chugged the whole bottle way too quickly.
Oh yeah, that's your water. Yeah, you go ahead. I'm sorry. So anyways, back to that tangent. Movies nowadays. What the fuck is going on? All right, we're back.
Oh my god.
Okay. No, like I know that whenever I was writing music, that came from like a negative spot. I was just stuck in that moment, kind of like I was talking earlier about being stuck in those emotional bubbles. Mm-hmm. Like I'm stuck in that moment. Everything is just fucked. I hate everyone. This is just and then it's just taking out on the drums. But then I remember feeling like so much greater afterwards. It felt the exact same thing as like having a heart-to-heart conversation with someone and finally getting that thing off your chest.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like doing that and getting that big boulder of a rock you've been carrying around with you for so many years. It's like I can get through anything nowadays. Mm-hmm. You know, and I remember like writing a song, and it was totally fueled by like shit that my stepdad was doing towards my family, and just sort of feeling like this is totally fucked. But I remember doing it, and I remember being able to actually talk with him. You know, not exactly about everything I was feeling, but it was a first step.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what we were talking about, like being able to like become the music, or, you know, like how like people in music therapy, like when they're able to like be a part of it instead of like being held back by their disabilities and not being able to participate in certain music activities. Now they're finally being able to be a part of it. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like music was that for me. Like it allowed me to have the courage, to have the confidence in my words, mm-hmm. that I wasn't going to say the wrong thing, or I was going to be able to say exactly what I wanted to say to that person. And it's fucking crazy. But I was going to say is like, do you get that experience like whenever you write like a negative song, and then when you come out at the end, you're like, I feel a lot better now?
Sometimes. I mean, other times I've got to write 3 more songs like
really?
it. Yeah. And then I have to sing it like to them.
Yeah.
To make sure that they understand.
Have you ever done that?
No. That's why they're on YouTube.
Is that something? Oh, okay. But do you feel like you could do that though, or is that still something that you're kind of having to like? Is that still a challenge for you to overcome?
To sing it to
well,
someone?
no, I'm just saying like if there's like if you like wrote a song. Uh-huh. Or okay, excuse me. Example. We'll like do exactly what Anthony Green did.
Okay.
Like all those songs that he wrote about his wife. Eventually, his wife had to hear it. Mm-hmm. And then his wife had to hear how he was talking about how like fucked up she is in certain ways, you know. But he's been doing music for so long that he's finally able to do that with like his new album. Which, have you heard his new album yet? Great fucking album.
We're gonna listen to it.
Definitely. If there was ever like a person that you were like, I just need to say this, I'm overwhelmed by this anxiety of like what I want to say. But I could probably do it if I do it through a song, or if like I write it out and like turn it into a song and then be like, you need to listen to this. Mm-hmm. Is that something that you could probably do?
That's something that I could definitely do.
That doesn't seem like necessarily the answer, because it could totally go.
One of two ways.
Yeah. But I think using that as that outlet, though, being able to get that out of your system, mm-hmm. that you're able to say the words that you're trying to say. You know, it may not be in the standard traditional way of like having a heart-to-heart conversation, mm-hmm. but as long as you get it out of yourself, you know, fucking walking around with all of this goddamn negative energy that you carry with you, that's a fucking poison. Mm-hmm. You're walking around with all this fucking stress all in your neck and in your shoulders. Mm-hmm. I nearly had, I don't know what the fuck it was. I'm gonna just go ahead and call it an anxiety attack, or a stroke, minor stroke, or a heart attack, whatever the hell it was that happened to me that I told you about.
Yeah.
Because there was just so much negative shit that was just going on in me. And frankly, man, being able to like come home and like play a guitar, play some of the songs that we're gonna be playing in a little bit, that sort of like gave me some levity to the whole situation. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And if people want to learn an instrument, I encourage them to do it. You don't have to if you don't want to. I'm not saying that music is the cure to happiness.
No.
Who knows what the cure to happiness is? I think it's fucking gummy bears, because every time I have gummy bears, fucking makes
cookies.
me happy.
You like those cookies too.
God, them cookies though.
Yeah, cookies on a bad day makes
fucking okay. You know, I had a bag of Petra's Farm soft chocolate chip cookies for lunch at work the other day, mm-hmm. and someone looked at me, and they were like, "Really?" It's not what they said. It's what their face said. They're like, "Really?"
It was the expression, and you were probably like, "Go fuck yourself."
I had cookies, and
Why don't you have a cookie?
I had a pint of like 2% milk, and since the fucking Pepperidge Farm cookies are pretty damn big. So you're probably asking yourself, Niko, how the fuck did you dunk that cookie in that milk? If you're drinking out of a pint little fucking bottle of milk, how'd you do it?
You find a way.
I found a way. What I do is, okay, this is my guide to eating an overly big cookie if you're drinking a small thing of milk.
We're foodies. We're
Okay, so
foodies.
what you fucking do is you take the big cookie, you take a bite out of it, then you take a swig of milk, then you just sort of like do it all in your mouth. You just sort of like figure it all out there.
Yeah.
It's the exact same experience as dunking a
It's the
cookie.
obvious thing.
Obviously.
Like, obvious.
Why aren't people doing this?
I don't know.
I mean, I understand the whole, novelty of like dunking a cookie. Because, I mean, that's what the commercials always showed us. You know, you dunk the cookie, you dunk your Chips Ahoy cookie in your little glass of milk.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you don't drop it and then it sink to the fucking bottom.
Oh,
you want
God.
to talk about fucking first world problems? That's my life right there, okay?
Yeah.
Dropping a cookie in my glass of milk.
Yeah. You got some kid in Africa starving. You're
I'm
an
dropping
asshole.
my damn cookies in milk.
He's like worrying about whether or not he's going to keep his leg because his mom and his dad died from a lion attack, and all these white people are trying to take over his town. But he's just like, "Where's my leg?"
While all that's going
And
on, I'm like,
you're
man,
like,
I gotta stick my
fucking
fingers.
cookie!
I gotta stick my fingers in my milk to get this cookie, and then I gotta get a new glass of milk because I don't want to drink.
What? Hold on. Okay, look, you got to really respect the cookie, though. If it took that leap, that jump into death, into that abyss of what white creamy goodness, okay? If it did that and then drowned and it's dead, what's the point in you bringing it its carcass? Okay, mind
Because
you,
I'm a
its
fucking
carcass.
savage.
Back up.
I'm a savage.
Switching to a different glass of it. No, you drink it. All right, you drink it. You add a couple more cookies
Yeah,
to
but
it.
I'm doing this. I'm doing this with my milk. I'm basically
No.
just giving it a good time with my fingers
No.
to get to the cookie on the bottom.
That's not what you do. That's not what you do.
That's all
you
a
add a couple
metaphor
more
for-
cookies in there, have some chocolate milk, and then you just, what the fuck? And then you just eat it with a spoon. And it's like
You use a
cookie
spoon
dough.
for cookies and milk?
And after I drop a cookie, if
Man.
that misfortune even happens, you're
That's
sacrificing your fucking Chip Ahoys.
obviously you do that because you're white. Obviously, just saying. I never met no brother that ate a cookie and milk with a fucking spoon. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm gonna let that slide.
Anyways, though, man, I'm feeling pretty good about this show, man. I think we can start to wrap it up. We got some songs we need to be playing, but if there's anything that you think you could say to people, I want to give the mic to you. Really, it's honestly something that I want to do, and I don't want to give you any pressure towards this. But like, obviously, there's people out there. We're living in dark times.
Mm-hmm.
We're either gonna have a fucking orangutan in a suit or a liar as our next president.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking people are being shot by cops for no goddamn reason.
Mm-hmm.
All this negative shit's going on in the world. Maybe by some chance, maybe music might be able to save us. Who knows if it can? Who knows if Yeezy and Drake can save us, and Rihanna, if they can save us? They probably can't.
No,
They probably can't.
they probably can't.
But they're gonna try, and they're gonna make
No,
a big
they're
deal
not,
about it.
because they're getting paid for it.
That's true. But what would you say to people who are like living in like who see all this negativity, like how music can like fix how at least can bring something to their life, like some kind of joy, happiness to their life?
All right. So you got a mother, okay? And your mother, or this mother, just lost her baby over a complete misunderstanding and bigotry. She was always raised, the mother was always raised to be polite, to be caring, to be loving, to show acceptance and truth, honesty. And then you have an entire crowd of reckless fucking assholes that don't know what they're doing, that are only controlled by rage. And the mother's just brokenhearted. Her baby's dead. And there's only more bigotry being created. You have to live through the dark times, and you have to proceed to show the truth, and to show the kindness, and to show the loyalty. You have to, like, take into consideration, yeah, this is going to shit. And you got to find a way out of it without having hate or anger. And so people don't understand anymore. We're just so controlled by our emotions. We're so controlled by the fact that, oh my God, you're eating cookies out of a fucking glass. I can't believe you with a spoon. With a spoon, mind you. You're not really understanding that, it's fucking delicious. Why don't you go fuck yourself, okay?
Okay.
I mean...
Point taken. Anyways, keep going.
There's nothing better in a dark time than looking towards what you want. Not what you hate. Because if you see a light of some sort, and you're like, damn, that light could be brighter, and you walk towards it, and you can get out that little tunnel, then get out of that fucking tunnel. Stop bitching. Like, there's no point. But, you kind of put me on spot there.
I'm sorry.
I've had a rant for that for years now, and here I am on spot, just not really knowing what the fuck to say. But just fight anger and hatred with positivity. I mean, like, I got called a fucking, what was it?
A transmorphidite.
Transmorphidite. A fucking transmorphidite.
To the listeners who don't know what that is the combination of a transgender person having sex with a hermaphrodite.
Oh, no. A transmorphidike. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I don't really know what she was trying to do, but...
She was saying something.
Yeah, and she kept repeating it
Yeah.
because, like, there's something wrong with her brain.
Yeah.
But I just ignored it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it festered. It's still festering. I'm
Right.
gonna, I'll find my way out of it.
Right.
But...
But you can't just be, like, stuck on... You're not going to be stuck on that moment.
Yeah, can't be stuck on that moment. You gotta get out of it. You gotta enjoy what you have when you have it. You have to find ways to make that last.
Yeah.
Like, there's no... Fucking Trump's... Oh, God. Hillary. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I don't understand how people are like Hillary whenever she fucking murdered people that are trying to protect our country. That doesn't make any sense. And don't even get me fucking started on this asshole that's like, oh, I make so much money. Like, get you do fuck yourself.
China. Sorry.
China.
I had a friend who's, like, real political, and I hope she's listening. I had her send her, like... She sent me a voice message. I was just like, just say the word China a few times like Donald Trump. Do your best Donald Trump impression. And he sent me a voice message on Facebook. China.
Can we do that? Can we play that? Are we able to play that right now?
I probably could bring it up.
Into
It'll
the
take
mic?
a few seconds. I apologize.
Because, like, shout out.
Definitely shout out. And she's really going to enjoy it knowing if she made it onto one of our shows.
Yes.
Where are you at?
But, like, in no way do I... like, denounce or tell anyone that believes in these people that they're stupid or anything like that. Because that's just against the point, It's just... You don't just have two choices. I don't understand why people don't see that. There's not only two choices.
China. We're gonna build a wall. Make America great again.
It's so damn random, but anyways,
Make
shout out.
America great again.
Well, no.
You're dating a Latina girl. She starts to get feisty. Wall! What the fuck?
That's exactly what you got to do to put them in that place. They're building a wall. Anyway, no, something that I wanted to say that kind of goes with what you were saying, and then we can wrap it up and we can start singing some songs. The other day, I read something that said that there was supposed to be this black moon eclipse.
Ooh.
Whatever the fuck that means. I got no idea what that means. But it's a black moon eclipse. And it's going to happen that night. So I'm like, cool. I'm down with some space shit. But then it said, but this could possibly mean that the world's about to end. And I'm like, okay.
That's fantastic. We're finally doing this?
I ain't about that life.
So we're doing this then.
That's happening right now, I guess.
Like 2012. The world's going to end 2016. So are we doing this yet?
Yeah.
Or what's happening, you guys?
But... if anybody knows anything about me, or if you know nothing about me, at least one thing you know is, like, I'm terrified at that idea. I'm terrified of the idea of the world ending. Whether it be Armageddon style with the asteroid, or fucking slow, painfully because of the fucking ozone layer. I'm terrified of it all. And I know it's going to happen, probably in my lifetime. So I'm just waiting for this terrible moment. But the article was saying, yeah, the world's probably going to end now, so get out there and have a great time. I was like,
Don't panic.
Don't panic, exactly. But anyways, I just remember thinking, like, I legitimately wonder what it would be like if people, like, if every single human being in this world lived like they thought it was their last day on Earth. Mm-hmm. And you think immediately there's going to be looting, robbery, anarchy, all this crazy shit going on. But you think about how many fucking people would just like band together, go off to like a cliff or a mountain, just sort of like watch the sunset one last time together, just sort of like be in a moment.
Feed the homeless.
Yeah, just do something meaningful with your time. And I was thinking, like, if everyone was like just hypnotized, like, what if today was like your last day on Earth? What would you do? What would you do if it was your last day on Earth? What would you do?
I would eat.
Would you?
I would.
Man, that's
I would
great.
eat a lot, and I would probably try to feed other people too,
That's cool.
because food is life.
I say a lot of times if the world was about to end, I think maybe I'd probably want to spend it with like one loved one, like that true love type person. But then there's part of it is like, I feel like my part of my whole life, or part of my life, there's always been like that sort of like isolation between people. So it's like I just want to enjoy that one last moment that I could have with myself, and just like be in that, find a way to meditate. If that sounds corny as it is, but like sort of like be in that moment, just acknowledge my surroundings and everything that's happening in that one moment. I feel like that'd be the right way to go out. But everybody's different. Can't judge you for what you would do. Anyways, though, I want to thank you very much for being on the show, Chris. I have a bucket list. I said this before on a show when our good friend Haley Baird, she came onto the show. I have a bucket list of people that I want to bring onto the show, and you've definitely been on that list. So I'm very happy that you could be here. Not to mention, it's just great to fucking hang out with you. I'm glad to have you in my home. I'm glad to have you, not so far away. Because, like, in our entire friendship, it was either we're 1,000 miles away or, like, 15 miles away, but we can't hang out or something like that. So it's great that we can actually do this. And to do this show. It was actually really fun. I'm actually glad that you got to live out your dream of being a DJ or... No,
not a DJ. I just always wanted to be on a talk show.
Talk show.
Yeah. Like, if this could be a regular thing, that would be fantastic.
It would be great. Yeah. I think you could do it. I believe
think so
it.
too.
Anyways, we're going to play some songs. One of them is a cover that I think a lot of our Radiohead fans will enjoy, and then one of them is off of the new Platinum album, the Chris Walters Experience, which I think you will enjoy as well. But anyways, until next time, Chris, thank you so much.
It was an honor.
Good night, goodbye, and good luck.
Jumps in a week, I bet you think that's pretty clever, don't you, boy? Flying on your motorcycle, watching all the ground beneath you. You kill yourself for recognition, kill yourself to never ever stop. Broke another mirror, you're turning into something you are not. And don't leave me high, don't leave me dry, don't leave me high, don't leave me dry. It's the best thing that you ever